Happy Saturday, Vol Nation. Great win today for the Tennessee Vols. Arguably, their best win of the season. You go on the road against number 7 Texas A&M, and they took care of business today. They did not get out the gates hot, but then Chaz Lanier got red hot, and it really brought them along in the first half. And then second half, they went in some shooting droughts as well. But in the end, Chaz had some big shots. Jordan Gainey had some big shots. Zakai Ziegler, what a shot Zakai Ziegler had that basically put the nail in the coffin. But before going any further, make sure you hit that like, that share. And if you have not already, hit that subscribe button as well. But thank you guys for your support along the way. Huge win for this team. And we talked about it last Saturday. We said that of the remaining 5 games, to me, I thought this had the potential to be the toughest one due to A&M, of course, is a top 10 team, and it being on the road as well. And, both of those things. And you look at what Tennessee did last year when they went to Texas A&M. They got beat. They got their butts handed to them last year, to be honest with you. But this year they come out, again, slow start. Then Chaz gets red hot, really kept them in. I mean, led them to leading that basketball game. And then second half, defense was good. Neither team was hitting shots at second half. And then I think it just come down to Tennessee hit more. And Tennessee got some breaks. You had, with a couple of minutes left, Ziegler missed a 1-and-1. Texas A&M goes down. Taylor, it looks like, gets the and one. But one of their dudes goes up and tips it while it's still in the cylinder, and that wiped 2 points off of the board, and then Taylor hit 1 of 2 free throws on it. But, that was one of the breaks. I think you can say in any game, you can look at probably both sides. There were some calls neither team got on both sides of it. That's not me. It's every game. Both teams are going to have complaints on it. I can't really think of a whole lot, to be honest, on Tennessee's end today to complain about with it. I thought this was one day, if there is officiating issues, that it actually for once benefited Tennessee, because there was some stuff on A&M that looked some calls on them that maybe didn't look too bad along the way, or maybe some no calls in it. But still yet, big time win for this. And this boosted Tennessee's prospects of getting a number 1 seed. Now, I'm not saying they're a lock for it by any means. Lenardi, who, say what you want about Lenardi, he's pretty good on this stuff. He's really good on it. He still has Tennessee as a 2 seed right now. So they're still, to me at this point, I've had some people say you're crazy if you think Tennessee beats Alabama. What am I missing here? What am I missing on that one? Tennessee has not lost to Alabama in maybe 3 years now. I know they've not lost to them, if I'm not mistaken, the last 2 years on it. It's in Knoxville. I fully expect Tennessee to beat Alabama when they come to town. You get LSU on the road Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. Your final game is against South Carolina at home. To me, the toughest game left is going to be at Ole Miss. I think that's going to be the toughest one left on the schedule. I'm not saying Alabama's going to be easy. Don't get me wrong on that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm going based off of the last couple of years that Tennessee has really had an answer for Alabama, no matter what they come in ranked or anything. They've done a really good job against Alabama. And Rick Barnes, it just seems that style with Alabama. And Jordan Moore talked about it last week with Alabama. They're either to the rim or they're a 3-point. They don't have that effective mid-range game where other teams do that have given Tennessee trouble. I thought that was some really good stuff, and he had a lot of good stuff out today. But Tennessee, of course, A&M today, Tuesday night, you cannot go down and slip up to LSU, one of the worst 2 teams in the league. You've got to go down and take care of business. You go down and do your thing. I think you'll be fine on it. But it's SEC. It's a road game. You cannot take it lightly. Not at all. You've got to go take care of business, because if you were to go down there and lose that game, you totally negate what you did today. And so you've got that one coming up on Tuesday. Next Saturday, Alabama at home, 4 o'clock. Wednesday, March 5th, at Ole Miss, 9 o'clock. And then March 8th, South Carolina in Knoxville. That will be the regular season finale. And then the SEC tournament starts in Nashville March 12th and runs through the 16th. And if you're Tennessee at this point, you want to do enough to where you get that double bye, and you get you don't have to play earlier than Friday. I think that's big for them. And then if you get a win, then you finish these remaining games. If you finish this stretch right now that you've got coming up with 4 games remaining, if you could finish those 4-0, you win a game in the SEC tournament, I think you're number 1 seed. I really do. If you lose one, I still think there's a shot to get that number 1 seed. It's got to be Alabama. I think, to me, it's got to be Alabama or Ole Miss. I would prefer it to be on the road at Ole Miss. If they have, I don't want them to lose any, obviously. But I think to me, I thought today was the hardest game. Let's get in some stats today. Obvious player of the game, Chaz Lanier with 30. His season high for Tennessee, 8 out of 13 3-pointers. He was 6 out of 7 in the first half. Hit 2 free throws at the end that helped ice it. Had 5 rebounds, just 1 turnover. And he was +8. He had an excellent day. This was the Chaz Lanier that we need right here. Zakai Ziegler, 16 points, 7 assists, 2 boards, 1 block, 2 steals. And again, that 3-pointer at the end was ice. That absolutely iced it. That was phenomenal today. Milicic, 5 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. Had some foul trouble with him. Meshack had 4 points. Meshack had 2 big tip-ins in the second half. Those were his only 2 buckets of the game, but still yet they were huge at the time they happened, because Tennessee was struggling to get points, and those were phenomenal tip-ins that he had, the way he kind of navigated through that traffic and got it. Akpara, 4 points, 7 boards on the day. Dubar had 2 points in 6 minutes. Gainey had a big game today, I thought, with 14 points. 2 out of 5. He had 3 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals on the day. He had some big shots down the stretch. He and Lanier both, and then Cade Phillips had 2 points in 7 minutes with 2 boards along the way. Looking at the matchup, one of the big things A&M does is they beat people on the rebounding column. Well, today they did beat Tennessee 38-29. They did have 14 offensive rebounds. Tennessee, for the most part, I thought did a decent job, but A&M still did win the rebounding battle. But I mean, just 12 turnovers for A&M, 10 for Tennessee. Both teams shot 90% at the free throw line. That's pretty impressive. Both teams are 18 out of 20. Here's probably your difference in the game, in my opinion. Tennessee shot 48% from three-point range. Texas A&M shot 17%. And Texas A&M definitely coming in not known to be an offensive juggernaut. And Tennessee, they probably actually scored a little more than you would think against UT, but 43%, 39 in field goal percentage. Other than that, I mean, A&M won the points in the paint. A&M won fast break points. Really, that 3-point percentage, that is, to me, what stood out in this one. A&M did lead for 19 minutes, 45 seconds. Tennessee led for 13:51. But you look at your percentages on the day. If I look at the first half, 61% Tennessee for 3-pointers. I mean, Chaz went 6 for 7. A&M was 26.7%. Field goal percentages, 48-44. You look at the second half, Tennessee was 35.7. Texas A&M was 1 out of 15. That, I think, when it comes down to it, you can live by the 3, you can die by the 3. And today, Tennessee won by the 3. 13 out of 27 versus 5 out of 30 for an A&M. That to me is your difference in the basketball game, no doubt about it. And again, big win for Tennessee. You want to get, in my opinion, that first number 1 seed in program history. That's a big deal to me. And I hate it when people say, I don't want to be the 1, I want to be the 2. People's going to come after us. No, they're not. These teams are going to be no more fired up to play you as a 1 seed than they are as a 2 seed on it. No more. I just don't get it. A lot of people, I didn't want to be the number 1 overall seed. We'll have a target on it. You're going to have a target on your back regardless on it. I'm sorry. That's when you're a top 5, top 10 team, you're going to have a target on your back. People are going to get fired up to play you when you're in the top 5 or the top 10, whether they're ranked ahead of you or whether they are ranked behind you. When you get up there, you're a top-notch team. You've been one for a few years. You're going to have a target on your back. Tennessee football is getting back to that point. Tennessee basketball has been a solid program for pretty good part, really going back to 2018-19. The COVID year, it cut short. They were not going to make the NCAA tournament. But other than that, they've made it each year. You're going to have that target on your back if you're Tennessee. Tennessee baseball, regardless if they're ranked number 1 or number 2, where they have a target on their back at this point. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. Big time win, great win for this team. And again, a part of me says this may be the most impressive win they've had to date this year. And they've beaten some good teams. They've beaten some really good teams this year. But, I mean, if I go back through the schedule on it, I mean, we look at you had that big comeback against Vanderbilt last week. You stomped Oklahoma a couple of weeks ago, beat Missouri in Knoxville. You run Florida out of the building without Ziegler and Milicic the second time. I know Florida run them out of the building the first time. You did have that streak of losing to Kentucky and Auburn. Is what it is on those. You had lost to Mississippi State was a good win at the time. Georgia was top 25. Texas, that one, road win, looking a little better now as they keep playing a little bit better basketball. Now I go through the non-con at Illinois. That's a big win. Louisville's looking really good now as well. Blew them out to start of the year. They found their footing, and they're playing really good ball right now as well. But this Tennessee basketball team is, maybe they're hitting their stride at the right time. And you know what? Maybe the Kentucky game's what it took to wake them up along the line. Because I'm still going to be honest, I don't think they should have lost either time to Kentucky. Kentucky can spout off all they want. Yeah, we're a better team. Sometimes you just have somebody's number. Mississippi State had Tennessee's number last year. I wouldn't say Mississippi State was necessarily a better basketball team. It was a better matchup for them. We've seen who went further. We'll see who goes further with Tennessee and Kentucky as well. I would put my money on right here on it. This team is set up, but they do have that capability to have one of those nights shooting, and we'll see where it goes. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. I'll be back later on with Game 2 recap of Tennessee baseball versus Samford. Tennessee currently trailing 1-0 right now. Who would have thought this team would trail this year? Long way to go in this one. It's only the top of the second inning. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Make sure you check out the link in the description for the channel memberships and the channel Patreon. All that does go to help the channel. It is greatly appreciated, as there is a lot of work goes into this to bring you the content that you get. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Have a great rest of your day. Go Vols.